What's going on, YouTube Nation? I'm the Coffee Bean Jim, and tonight, as it is night here where I am at, quite late in fact, but tonight we are going to hash out the last bits of details on this map that we've been working on. We're going to add in some locations, some roads, some rivers, and then a couple little extra features, to kind of, finish off this map and make it as good as we can get it here. So, the first thing I'm going to do is rivers. So we're going to move up here. We want to be in between the, underneath the mountains layer here. So we're going to make a new layer. I already had it called rivers. So we'll hit OK. Otherwise, you would just type rivers in. Hit OK. We want that to be underneath the mountains. We're going to make another one. This one's going to be called roads. Going to take that. We want the roads to be up. Actually, right where it's at, right above the rivers. OK. Roads. And we're going to do one more. We're going to call this one locations. And then we're going to do a fourth. This is going to be called extras. Alright, so we got these 4 layers. Now we're going to start hashing this out. So for the rivers, easiest way to do it, I already had my picture or my color already pictured here, but we're going to use this little color picker tool up here in the corner. You can swing over here and you can just pick any number. You're going to want to be down here on your water layer and pick any, pick any color, not number, sorry about that. Pick any color. I want this lightish blue color in here, so we're just going to click in there. We're going to click on it, and it'll put your color right here. Okay. We're going to swap over to our brush. We want the smallest little radiant tool here. Size, let's go down to about a 5. And this will give us a, whoops, wrong one again. Make sure we're on our actual river thing. There we go. And this will give us a small little river, so you can kind of see it about that size right there. Okay. Which is good enough to start with. So the thing about rivers is you want them to come down from the mountains. They're going to be coming down from higher elevations, and they're going to be flowing down into the bodies of water. Now, a lot of the time when you look at maps and stuff, they often have rivers flowing from north to south. So we'd be flowing from the mountains and they'd be flowing this way, and these ones would be flowing down here. And you certainly can do that by a general rule of thumb. Now, it's true that not all rivers flow north to south. There are some that flow south to north. The Nile, for example. But all of that's kind of technicalities, I guess, if you will. So we're not really going to worry about going that much into the depths of this and the actual geography. We don't need a science lesson here. We just want to put a few rivers on here, something for markers, and something for the PCs to float on down and get hijacked from, basically. So we're going to start here with this big mountain. I'm just going to show you an idea of how I do rivers, branching them off, and then we're going to move on to the next thing. You guys can actually put your rivers in because it follows the same technique regardless. So we're going to zoom in here. This is a nice big mountain. I could definitely see water trickling down from these snow-capped mountains and making their way down. So we're going to start up in here. Okay, I got my blue already. We're on the size 5, smaller radiant. We're going to just kind of drag it down. Follow that crevice, because it kind of hides it a little bit. And then we're going to come down and just bring it down. Feel free to be jagged and bring it down like that. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to come up from over here though. This one's going to come down. It's going to come through this forest a little bit, and we're going to bring it down. Let's tack it right in here. Okay, and let's do one more. Let's have it coming right out of, let's come in right out of here. So we're going to kind of drag it down out of there, right along here, and bring it down. Zoom. Alright, and this one we're just going to finish it off like this. Now, these 2 rivers merge together here, right? So we're going to make this little leg down here a little bit bigger. So let's put it up to a 7. Zoom in a little bit closer so we can see. We're going to make it a little bit bigger to show that those 2 rivers came together. So it widens out just a little bit down here. So I'm going to do one more over here to give you another look, and then we will start tackling the next part here. So let's put this down to 5. And this time we're going to kind of come out of this little mountain right here right into this little pool. It's already there. And up here we're going to come down out of here, scrum through. Now technically it would flow down behind this mountain and kind of come around the corner here. So we're putting it in behind there, and then I'm just going to kind of come like this and come out and around. Come down through here, following this little ridge through the forest, and then make our way over. And we're going to do the same exact thing. I want to kind of come out of here into this little pool, and then this little pool, kind of comes up through and connects in. And then one more is going to come through here and down. Now we got several different little rivers coming in here, so we actually are going to widen it up just a little bit. So we're going to mark that up just to a 6. And just kind of follow this one a little bit. Widen it out just a little. Okay. And then we're going to go up one more notch, because then we got the 3 rivers coming in. And we're going to follow this one down like this. And this one's actually, I'm going to have widen out a little more down here. So it kind of comes in like this, and then we're just going to widen it out. Right in there. Yep. So there we go. And actually that took a little bit of a darker color there than we wanted, so so in case you see these where this is a darker color right here, let's get our color picker, pick the light. Whoop, we gotta be back down on our water, don't forget. Always do that. Click back up to rivers, brush. And I did it again, didn't I? Gotta get a lighter color in there. Actually, we can probably just erase it a little bit. No, can't do it that way either. Boy, I'm just goofing this all up here. Let's get over to the rivers. There we go. Now we got it. There. There. Make a little island right there. Alright. So, that's it. What you need to do for your rivers. Just same thing. Come down from the mountains, bring them down, widen them out a little bit as they merge together, and do that all over your map. So, moving onward, we're going to hit roads. Roads work pretty much the same way. And if it makes it a little bit easier, do your locations first. So we're actually going to do that. My locations, I'm going to make it so they're easy to see. You know what, let's just go with a, well, yeah, let's go with a reddish, I think. I will link up these little, location thing, brushes, I guess, in the description. But let's grab this one for now. Let's see how it looks. Make it its right size, refresh it, and whoops, did it again. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna make it a little bit darker so it's not so glary. And so I'm using 760000 for this one. Alright, there's a location. So, like I said, you have all these different brushes. You can pick which ones you want to use, though. We're going to go down to, let's say, a 30 in size. That's perfect. And we're just going to plop a couple where we might see kind of fit. I could see one being kind of at the junction here. Let's put one down on the bay. Use one up here. Let's put one up by the forest. Let's put one over here. Put one here, and let's put another one over here. Okay, so locations, nothing fancy. Use your different ones that you like. Put them wherever you might like them. There's no rhyme or reason here how I did it. Just giving you ideas. For the roads, we're going to use this color here, which is AB6 500. Okay. We want this small radius tool here. We're going to move this down to a 10. I think 10 good? Yeah, 10 is good. Actually, I'm going to go down to a 9. And we're just going to kind of connect these. Now, you want to go onto the roads. And most of the roads kind of follow paths, along the forest edge or down through the little mountain paths like this and along the river and down. And here, this one's going to kind of branch off. It's going to follow this forest down over to the river. It's going to follow this path down to the forest. Who knows what's down there? But and this one's going to do the same way. It's going to kind of come up, follow along the shoreline, along the forest, and up to this one. And we're going to make it right here a little branch that kind of comes down along the forest. It's going to follow this river and arch over. Okay, and again, same things. We're going to branch this one off here because it's going to come down over here. Going to come through a little mountain pass that's right here. And we're going to come down to this one. Again, may not be realistic. You might have to kind of move things to where you want. I'm just trying to give you a quick idea of, how I do this. I actually did another map up here. I'll show you in a minute that's a little better laid out. Now, this one over here, I'm going to make a little town somewhere on the coast here. Let's do this one here again. Let's go back to our red. And we're going to put it... no, we don't want that. Down to 32 again. we're gonna put one, no, this one will work right here, so never mind. What I was gonna do is show you doing a map across the water, how I do it. So let's go back to this, and let's say, bring this all the way down again. So we want this one to be connected up to this one. So I'm gonna zoom in. If you hold the shift button, it'll draw lines. So we're gonna draw this out to here, and then hold shift and draw a line. Click, shift, draw a line. Click, shift, draw a line. And just keep doing that same thing until we connect up to that other one. Oops. Alright, so and I will show you the purpose of this in just a minute here. Let me get up there. So, you know, this is basically a river path, if you can follow along there. Actually, I use shorter hash lines most of the time and do it a little more thinner, which I'll show you in a moment as well. But this is going to come into play when we do our extras. I'm going to put a little ship following this up through here. So there's our basic locations. There's our roads. There's our rivers. Again, do yours how you want on your map. Just kind of follow those basic guidelines. To be honest, I would even make the roads a little bit thinner looking because they're kind of heavy right here. Maybe even go down to like maybe a 5 or a 7 in size. So we have these basics here. Now I want to spruce this up a little more. I want to add a little something more. So I'll put links into what I use over here. But here's a ship. Okay, we're going to copy this image, bring it down. We're going to edit, paste as, new layer. We're going to resize it. Get that out of the way. If you hold control while you bring this down, it'll keep the dimensions of the ship. That way they're not all messed up. And we're going to make it really small here. And then we're going to grab it and bring it over. And we're actually going to zoom in a little bit. And once again, shrink this down a little more because it's still pretty big. Let's get that out of the way. Okay, and I know it's all kind of blurry and everything, but that's all right for what we're doing. We're going to shift it around a little bit so it can follow this path. And we're going to kind of follow it up like that. Stick it right there. Now we got a ship showing us following this path. And, you know, I wanted to add one more little cool feature up here. So I did a quick little search for the Kraken. Got this thing here. So we're going to do the same thing. Copy the image. Come over. We're going to edit, paste as, new layer. We're going to put it over in the water. Size it down. Holding control to keep those dimensions. Scale up. Zoom in. We're going to put it up here and about here. Let's rotate it a little bit. Actually, let's do it the other side. Let's do it this way. Rotate. And we're going to, whoop. And we're going to move it right up here. Okay. So we're going to add that into that water that the ship's going through. Just a cool feature in there. So these two clipboards are the ship and the Kraken. We can move these up to extras. And this ship, which should be, yeah, this one, we're actually just going to merge right down into this extra one. This one, however, looks like it's sitting above the water. So we're going to lower the opacity of this so it looks like it's down under the water a little bit. Take it right down to 50. Now when we zoom out, it looks like it's underneath the water. So now we're good on that. We've got a ship, a Kraken. You know what else we need? We need a compass. So same thing. We're going to copy this image, swing it over. In this case, just going to hit Control V to paste it. Size, we're going to size this down to about yay big. This right here makes it as a layer, so we're going to make it a layer. And I am going to, let's put it over in this corner. Right down here. Now it's kind of grayish colored and stuff. You want it to nice and stand out. So I am going to use colors, threshold, that'll make it black. Hit OK. Zoom out. There, we got our compass on the map so people know which way's north. Now you could rotate this a little bit so north is up, but you know, again, that's up to you. I'm not worrying about it at this point in time. And I have one more little extra feature I thought would be cool to end there, and that's these here. They look like basically footsteps of some sort. So I'm going to copy them, paste them, make them a new layer so I can use them, and get them. So we got these huge footsteps right now. So again, we're going to size them down. Oops, shrink them, scale them. I'm going to zoom in and move them over here a little bit. Oh, I'm going to be in this little pathway coming down through here. So we're going to rotate them. Rotate. And they're still a little big, so I'm going to shrink them down just a tad more. But I'm thinking they'd be like giant footsteps or something for the PCs to go and visit. Maybe some sort of relation to the gods, where the gods walked or something. So put those in there. I'm actually going to drop the opacity down on these two a little bit because they look old. We want them just to be kind of, they're just enough to pique their interest. Get them out of the way of that thing. And that's it. There's some extra features. We got our Kraken and the ship. We got some trade routes. We got some locations. Some other things I like to do are to use these little flags. I usually make them white. And I can stick them around in areas that are interesting. So let's mark this down to, man, it keeps doing that today. Let's put it down to 15 and say I want a location up here. Whoops. Locations. White. Okay, and we want a location up here. We're going to stick one. Maybe over here, something fancy. Up here, something. Maybe over here, something. And I just stick these little flags around for areas that PCs to know that there's something there. You know, maybe they want to go check out what this is, or check out what this is. So there's your basic crash course and all those little extra tidbits and tiddlywinks and what have you. So this one's a little haphazardly as I was showing you everything, but if we hop over, here's the one that I actually did. It's a little more fleshed out. So I gave rhyme and reason to some of these locations. I figured this was some sort of mining colonies here and here. I put one that's more on the, you know, the shoreline of this sea, whatever this might be, and this one over here, this one here. There'll probably be a boat trade route between these as well. You know, I put the God steps in. I made the paths a little more jagged, a little thinner down through. Have our rivers coming down, widening out at the ends into these different bays. More trade routes. So here's the basic map. I see this one. I oriented the compass as well. So this is our basic map. This is my finished version of what I did after, you know, taking the time to really focus on doing my rivers and everything. And this is what we got up with. So hopefully this whole little series gave you a bunch of ideas. It gave you some techniques to use. This is by no means a perfect setup. You know, I make a lot of mistakes as well. It's a learning process as I go. This has worked well for me for the past, you know, year or so that I've done it. So, you know, every time I do this, I learn new techniques and find new little things that I want to add or tinker with or change. So if you come up with something, you get an idea, then, you know, definitely tell me in the comments below. Let me know what you did differently, or any questions you may have. I try to answer people the best that I can. And most importantly, if you have a map and you have a way to host it, maybe throwing it on Deviant or Imgur or somewhere else, then by all means, share your maps. Give us links in the comments below. I want to see what you guys created. You know, I'm really curious on how this has helped people and what you've come up with. So please, if you made a map and you somehow used this, give me a link. I want to check that out. So thanks again for sticking with me. The next time around, we are going to be doing a dungeon map, which I will give you a quick example here. Let's see, I want to open recent dungeon. So we're going to be creating something like this in our next tutorial. And I don't know if anybody recognizes what this is from, but it's actually from an older module that was pretty big, probably about 15, 16 years ago that I redid. But this is our next project. So everybody, thank you for watching. Let me know your comments. Let me see your maps that you made, and have a lot of fun. Roll more dice.